We get to play Phoenix Wright. Yes, we get to play Phoenix Wright. Episode 4, Turnabout Succession. Showdown time. The scene with the cards. I lost. It's only a game of poker. A game I've played for a long time and only lost twice. Who was the first? The man I killed, air quote, of course. ... Now we see a picture of Phoenix with Zach. Grammary. Well, it seems I found the partner I've been looking for all along. Over a game of cards? Why, yes, over a game of cards. That was how we first met. This is Phoenix saying that. 7 years ago. 7 years earlier. Phoenix Wright's final trial. Here's how Phoenix Wright lost his job. Alright. Alright. April 19, 9:27 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Phew. Okay. It's been a long time since I felt like such a rookie. Got to try and relax. This is Phoenix talking. Ah, good morning, Mr. Enigmar. This must be Zach. He has mutton chops and a mustache, and he's wearing a pink silk hat, a clover brooch. Attached is a silk cape. It's the same pattern as Trucy and Valiant, and he's wearing a belt with a pistol. What voice can we give him? I want to give him a suave, not Mexican, but, you know, any suggestion in chat? Similar to Valiant, but not quite. Yes, yes. Which voice can we give Zach? Zach Enigmar. I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure I'm prepared. I understand I am asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did was play cards. And that was enough. Actually, it wasn't. Trust me. Now we see a little girl. Morning, Daddy! She's dressing. She looks exactly like in the picture of Phoenix Gold Pendant, all in pink, and her outfit matches her daddy's. No, the previous attorney probably would make sense. But it doesn't say, they don't say, but yeah, everybody's connected. Oh, I'm so glad you came. You okay, Daddy? He picking on you? I'm fine as always. This old boy is here to help me after all. That's young man to you. Good morning. That's a cute outfit you have on. Thanks! My first show today after all. Oh, I'm sure it is. What the heck is she talking about? Oh! Oh boy! Me? Oh, I don't... I watch a lot of movies. And when a young girl's called a certain middle-aged man, old boy, I'm having a heart attack. I saw the Korean film, by the way. I saw that film. I saw it, how it went. I didn't saw the American remake. Me? Look what he started. Here! Give us a piece of paper. What's this? It seems fate clock will make me wait a little longer, at least only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell, signed Magnify Grammary. Oh, I see. Oh shit, I think I know what was forged. Remember, this guy died and he had the right for a certain trick? No, he was missing. That guy was missing. And yeah, probably the thing that was tricked was his inheritance. Like to say that, okay, I passed my trick on to X. If I die. And he was missing after 7 years. He said that, oh, okay, this guy has been, what's the term? Not dead by de facto. There's some. Watch my previous streams of Apollo Justice, please. They say that. So there. What's this?
Oh, I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was very important.
What's this? A memo for you or some such? Not from the looks of it. What is this? Looks like a page from someone's diary. I'll give it a read later. Notebook page added to the court record. Okay. Wait. Well, how do you feel about the trials today? Okay, I'm gonna check the court record because they put some stuff. The crime photo, body found in the hospital room, shot in the forehead, touch the check button for details. Oh, there's, okay. There's an old man sitting in a bed with a nightcap on. He has a big white mountain chop mustache that connects. And there's a little beard. There's a clown on the bed with a hole on his forehead with a matching nightcap. This old man is plugged to a bed with life support and an IV stuck to him. He's plugged to some vitals. He's been shot on the forehead. There's no blood. There's a diary in front of him with a torn page. There's a golden gun, a whole musket on the table with a syringe and some sort of pouch. I think it's Magnify Grammary. The victim is Magnify Grammary. But it looks like he was dead, but at first it said he was missing. Well, we'll see how it turns out. This is Magnify Autopsy Report. Cause of death, single gunshot to the head. Estimated time of death, 11 to 11:30 p.m. Age 67, male, loss of blood from bullet wound. Remarks, malignant tumor confirmed in the victim's liver. Oh, he was oh, I see. The guy was hospitalized for a liver cancer. That's why he was strapped onto this bed and somebody just shot him in the head. Notebook page. Mysterious paper received just before the trial. Touch the check button for details. Yeah. Fate's clock will make me wait a little longer, at least only less than 10. Okay. Alright. And that's all I have. Okay. How do you feel about the trial today? Well, we'll get through it, somehow. Incidentally, the prosecutor today is a new guy, I hear. An easy win then, yes? They're calling him a true thoroughbred in the history of the prosecutor's office. Of course, there's one of those every year. The switching of attorneys just before the trial. I know it is a difficult situation I put you in. But allow me to say one thing, Mr. Wright. Yes? They will not be able to pronounce me guilty today. So do your best. But do not worry. First time a defendant's ever given me a pep speech. I'll do what I can. I see you do not understand. You see, it will be impossible for them to declare a verdict. Impossible? Yes. Isn't that right, Trucy?
Yep, you bet, Daddy!
My first look at the case was only yesterday, and the information I was given was a tad bit lacking, to be honest. Still, I'll do what I can for their sake. I believe the curtains will be lifting any time now. I am in your capable hand, Mr. Wright. My client is Shady Enigmar. Shady? Wait! Wait. The guy I assume was Zach was actually Shady, but that was the guy who got killed in the first case. He was killed by Christoph. Holy shit. Yeah, probably Zach Grummer is an alias. But I just remember that face, man. Oh my god. Yeah, he's the same guy. His name is Shady Enigmar, my god. Known to the world as Zach Grummery. There you go. A wildly popular magician. I didn't recognize him because he shaved his modern chops. He was wearing a different outfit, but then again, Fisk was wearing something different too. But a wildly popular magician, star of the troupe Grummery. His mentor, Magnified Grummery, was a rare breed of magician. He single-handedly ushered in a golden age of stage magic until he was shot dead. And Zach Grummery is a suspect. April 19, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 7. Now Christoph has a motive to kill him. Yeah, that's what's happening. Court is now in session for the trial of Shady Enigmar. The defense is ready, Your Honor. There's a question mark, but we know it's him because he's doing the same. Is the prosecution ready? I was just thinking, is this what all the fuss is about? Bit of a buzzkill, really. Buzzkill? Is this some new kind of crime? One of the worst. This is a trial, yeah? Where are the sweaty palms, the pounding hearts? A governor's concert got 10 times the thrill of this gig got. Who were you again? Claudia Gavin. I came to get the party started legally, huh? Gavin? Defense attorney Christoph Gavin's... figure my bro's more famous in this part of town. Xavier Gavin, lead singer of the mega hit band The Gaviners? You're out of your league, rock boy. I know what you're thinking. You're out of your league, rock boy. ... True. My debut single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love, went platinum overnight. But that's just a hobby to me compared to this, yeah? Talkative, aren't you? I like your affected Euro rock accent, by the way. I'm just getting warmed up, Herr Attorney Wright. Perhaps you would be so kind as to fill us in on the case? Sorry, my chairs is making sound. Some people say when they fart on their chairs, it's the chair's fault because it's made of leather. Mine, it makes squeakies like this. Sorry about that. Perhaps you would be so kind as to fill us in on the case? Octoon, baby! Time to call on the opening act! What was his name again? Yes. Detective Gumshoe! Hit it! Welcome back! Hello! And you are? Hey, you were the one who called me up here, sir! Name's Dick Gumshoe. I'm a homicide detective down at the precinct. Oh, hello, Phoenix! How you doing, pal? Detective Gumshoe, long time no see. Hey, you! Me? Today's the day, pal! Today I win and you lose! I got confidence in my testimony today, see? What? You normally lack confidence in your testimony? Detective, this is my stage, Candy Antics. All this AUing and such, and I could care less about your history together. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, if you would. Please tell us about the case at hand.
It happened 6 days back in a room at the General Hospital. The facts are as simple as they come. Here's the crime scene.
Now I see a photo, just as I was describing it. Oh, and I just realized that the IV was unplugged. I'm just realizing now. I just, upon a second glance, boom.
The victim was a patient asleep in a hospital bed. The killer comes in, put the pistol on his forehead, and BAM! Lights out. Damn's the fact.
Yeah, it's an IV. Like, I see the needle, it's been completely disconnected from the arm and is sitting next to his pillow.
Not so long ago, the victim, Magnify Grammary, was a famous man. He had the entire country under his magical spell, as it were.
Now we see the old rough sketch of him standing on the cane in standing in équilibre. Is that what it is? Yes. Oh yes, the great magician. He retired years ago though. Say the name Magnify to one of my generation and you'd be lucky to get a blank stare.
Yes, though I'm sure the youngster today know this disciples even better. I dare say Troop Grammary had made quite a name for themselves.
Anyhow, the retired Magnify's been in the hospital for the last year. What was it? Mal-ignorant tutor or something. A mal-ignorant tutor or something. Doing something to his liver, I think. Yeah.
A malignant tumor, perhaps?
In other words, he had liver cancer. He had only 3 months left to live, in fact. Magnifying's chart added to the court record.
The fact do seem simple enough, but something's not right.
The victim was already climbing a 3-month stairway to heaven. Why not wait for him to knock, knock, knock on heaven's door? Why shoot him?
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
I wouldn't have put it quite so lyrically, but it's true. Why make the effort to commit murder when the victim was about to die?
Incidentally, the victim had a bad case of diabetes.
Diabetes? In fact, he was about to shoot up with insulin. Oh, when he was shot with the pistol, the syringe was found at the crime scene. Okay, so they're saying that the syringe is filled with insulin, but that doesn't explain why his cannibal was unplugged. Doesn't make sense. Chronic diabetes and cancer. As much as it pains me to say it, the victim was clearly at the hands of his life. Small syringe added to the court record.
I believe the question before us is clear then. Why did the killer have to shoot this dying man? What reason could he have had?
Very well, detective. Perhaps you can enlighten us as the circumstances of the shooting.
Yes, sir.
Witness testimony, the circumstances.
Actually, the victim kind of ordered the defendant to do him in. A few days before it happened, the victim sent a letter ordering his own murder. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt about it. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir.
What? You're saying the victim ordered his own shooting?
Those are the facts. I have here the letter in question. To my beloved student Zach, to you I entrust the task of lowering my life. Okay, I didn't have time to read. Oh, okay, I can read it in the court record. Alright.
Very unusual indeed.
Okay, let's read Magnify's letter. Letter asking Zach to shoot him. Touch the check button. Okay. To you I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtain. come to the 11:05 p.m. I will ready a gun with which you will shoot. One shot square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Signed, Magnify Grammary. Okay. There's the Grammary decal print on the paper, so it looks like official. But I want to check something first. I want to compare the writing between the mysterious letter I found. Okay. Magnifique. Yeah. The writing is not the same. One of them is forged. This is clean. Okay. Yeah. Looking at it twice, I can see that they don't look the same at all. I'm gonna check the charts. Malignant tumor in liver has progressed to final stage with no hope of recovery. Patient has 3 months to live. Patient has chronic diabetes, requires regular insulin. Age 67 male. Shading Neymar 40. Magnify Grammary 67. Died after being shot in the head. Alright, I see a picture of Magnify. He's wearing a black silk hat. He's clad in black and he's wearing all white. True C. Enigmar, age 8. Zach Gramerty's daughter. Already dresses the part of a magician to the hilt. Clavier Gavins is 17. Star prosecutor and leader / vocalist for the rock group The Gaviners. Which game is this music from? It's really good. It's from the original Phoenix Wright game. Yeah. Phoenix doesn't know that. Yeah. Dick Gumshoe, age 32, homicide detective at the local precinct in charge of the initial investigation. Alright.
Although, could such a thing as a letter really cause one to pull a trigger, I wonder?
I believe the answer to that question can be found at the end of the letter.
Ah, you cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Detective Gumshoe, can you explain this to the court?
Unfortunately, even the defendant won't say a peep about that bit, sir.
One thing bothers me about this. Why didn't he just say 11? Why have him come at 11:05 without some specific reason? The devil's is in the details, our attorney.
Well, was there some reason?
As it turns out, there was. Every night, for half an hour, starting at 11, the victim, Magnify Grammary, was given an IV. An IV? There it is in the picture off to the side of the bed. And yeah, I see it, and either it hasn't been, yeah, it wasn't administrated. The IV wasn't administrated, or it was put out, because I see the needle and the tape next to the bed. But I believe it's from the first 3 of them, but it's more reminiscent of the first game. Like even the team for the trial, like everything seems from the first game. At 11, the doctor would come to set up the... Oh, at 11, a doctor would come to set up the IV. 30 minutes later, he would come back for the empty bag. This happened every night without fail. So that was the only time they could meet without the chance of an untimely interruption. During his IV...
Very well. Shall we begin? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you would.
What's this reason he couldn't refuse, I wonder? He could have at least mentioned it to me. The circumstances.
Actually, the victim kind of ordered the defendant to do him in.
Hold it!
Just because he got the letter doesn't mean he went through with it. Oh, I disagree. The victim was indeed shot in the forehead, after all, just as he had commanded. Could have been a setup, but let's not be in such a hurry. Maybe we should let the witness talk for a change.
Thanks, pal.
Clavier ... Fine, I can play it slow as well as I can play it fast. On visit testimony, Detective Gumshoe.
A few days before it happened, the victim has sent ordering his murder.
And this letter was sent by the victim?
There it is! Gotcha! You're all mine this time, pal.
Huh?
I had the handwriting checked out, of course. It's the victim's. No mistakes.
Ah, I see.
Score 1 for the boys! Gumshoe wins, yeah! In your face, Phoenix!
I didn't lose, I was just ascertaining the facts. So why am I so annoyed?
But a letter ordering your own death? Things aren't that what they used to be, I guess.
I'm not sure it is exactly commonplace even now, Your Honor.
So anyway, guess I'll keep going while I'm ahead. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead.
How can you be so sure?
Hey, you gotta learn to stop relying on people to do your thinking for you, pal. Learn to think for yourself. Get that noggin cranking.
You failed to grasp the concept of questioning, Detective.
First, we got this letter. It says, shoot in the forehead, loud and clear.
I can see that, but I still wouldn't do it.
Well, maybe you need to grow yourself a backbone, pal.
If you fail to grasp the concept of shooting people is bad, Detective.
We also found a defendant's pistol at the scene.
Traces of gunpowder residue show that it has been fired recently.
Well, Mr. Wright? As far as I can tell from looking at this photo, there seems to be no issue with the prosecution's claim.
The photo. Maybe there's something in there I can use. So they're saying the defendant shot the victim in the forehead. I think there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, clearly, Mr. Enigmar. Mr. Enigmar, I have no clue. Mr. Enigmar didn't pull the trigger. Mr. Enigmar shot someone else. Yeah. Mr. Enigmar shot something else. He shot the clown. Looking at this photo, another possibility occurs to me.
Yes?
What does the letter tell us? That the defendant had a reason he couldn't refuse. His teacher's wishes.
Bingo, pal. That's why the defendant popped in one in the forehead.
Oh? The defense disagrees. You see, the defendant had another choice he could make.
Objection!
What? And you can prove that with this photo? I can prove he had a choice, yes. Gumshoe, thanks for being the lovable idiot that you are. Phoenix is amazing.
The defendant might have fired like he was ordered. But he didn't shoot the victim's forehead. Well, let's hear what you're thinking, Mr. Wright. If he didn't shoot the victim's forehead, what did the defendant shoot?
He shot the clown. Because the clown is dressed exactly as as Mr. Grammary.
Take that!
The clown doll?
Take a closer look. See? It's been shot in the forehead too.
Ah! There's a hole in his forehead!
Yes, and a hole in the prosecution's claim.
Objection!
Huh, and I suppose you have a reason as to why he shoot the clown's doll? No. He didn't just shoot the doll. He shot the doll's forehead. His forehead? Ah. Let's read the orders once more, shall we? You will shoot one shot square in the forehead. End quote. He didn't say which head. Which exactly what he did. He shot the clown doll square in the forehead.
The defense has raised an intriguing possibility. That hole in the clown's forehead, it definitely looks like it was shot. Bailiff! Send someone to investigate this matter.
Objection!
I admit I'm impressed, but I expected nothing less. Still, this doesn't mean he didn't shoot the victim.
Objection!
Perhaps he did have to shoot the forehead as ordered, but the letter says nothing about whose forehead. This was the only way he had to follow his orders without taking a life.
The bullet hole in the clown's doll forehead does demand an explanation. It might very well be a clue, yet Prosecutor Gavin is right. It alone does not prove the defendant's innocence. You cannot say for sure the defendant didn't shoot the victim.
So sorry, Mr. Wright. How sad it is to see the mighty fall. How sad it is to see the novice overconfidence. He doesn't realize just how big his little hole is going to get.
Detective Gumshoe, please take this newfound fact into account as you continue your testimony.
So what if he shot the clown? He still shot the victim, pal.
So let me get this straight. You're saying my client first shot the clown, then shot the victim?
Hey, not a bad summary, pal.
More of a confirmation than summary, but whatever. That was very more of a confirmation than a summary, but our defense attorney seems pleased enough with himself. Do these people even miss a chance to mock me? Well, now that Mr. Wright's gotten that out of his system, shall we continue with the testimony? I didn't have time to gather all the details before coming in here. This testimony might be my only source of information. Better pay attention and read this letter carefully. Okay, now we're circling up. Yes, the letter says one shot. I remember. Check again. One shot. No! Your Honor, what do you think about the witness statement?
I'm not sure I follow you.
It clearly contradicts the, I thought...
You don't sound very sure, Mr. Wright. Objection overruled. Penalty! You lose the internet!
I don't think that won me any points with the judge. I wish I had the gun, because that's the only way to be sure. Maybe I'm gonna present the crime photo. Saving. No. This witness statement is very faulty, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, but I can't see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I have to penalize you, Mr. Wright.
I must be on the wrong track. No, I don't have the gun. They never gave me the gun. All I have is the picture. I started with the picture and the autopsy report. That's all I had. Then I found the mysterious notebook page. Then they gave me in court magnifies chart and the small syringe. Aim for an administering insulin shot has been washed and show no signs of use. Let me inspect that. Maybe we need to raise an understanding of something else. Yeah, I always hated getting shots. I guess Magnify was giving himself the insulin shots. There's no way I could do that. Wait, if Magnify used this to inject his insulin, why are there no traces of him having been used? Some things to keep in mind. Alright, it's not being used. Okay, yeah. Let's read everything again. A few days before it happened, the witness said they're ordering his own murder. The victim kinda ordered the defendant to do with him. The defendant did what asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt. The pistol definitely belonged to the old man. So what if he shot the clown and still shot the victim? I think I'm gonna repress everything again just to be sure. It's kind of funny watching Apollo work and then Felix. You can see Felix's confidence from doing this for years where Apollo lacks that. Yeah. Just because you got the level of toilet. But it might have been the clown's forehead he shot.
Okay, so he practiced first on the doll, then shot him.
He practiced in the middle of the hospital. Anyone could have come in at any moment.
Yeah, but no one did come, did they, pal? Besides, it's what I would have done. Always look before you shoot, I'd say.
Monarch suggests we move on. This is getting us nowhere. Patience will get there sooner than you think.
Very well, please continue with your testimony, detective.
You mean this pistol? The one in the crime scene photo?
That's the one! It's a funny looking gun, so there's no mistaking it.
We compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun. The rifling marks on the bullet were a perfect match. So, you verified the murder weapon, in other words.
You bet we did. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir.
Apparently there was some part of my testimony that I never pressed. Why are you so certain?
What pile of sand has your head been stuck in all this time, pal? You never heard of Zack and Valiant quick draw shoot 'em?
Huh? What's that?
One of the defendant's specialties.
Now we see an old photo of the trio.
Zack and Valiant stand on either side of a girl. Then they shoot. But the bullet don't hit her. Instead, they hit everything else on stage. This was one of the pistols they used in their show. Got a great design, huh? The kids love it.
Many boys and girls joined the police because of that pistol, I hear. You know, that would explain a lot about the police force.
Trope Grammary stopped doing that act a while ago. The old man held on to that pistol ever since.
The court would like to see the pistol in question.
You got it, sir. Here she is.
Well, this truly is a blast from the past, would you say?
It's a stage pistol for magic show, you see. But it can't fire real bullets.
It looks so much bigger than in real life. In real life than on TV.
Yeah, but it can only hold one round.
Oh! There it is! There was no objection. I have to press on everything before I receive my... the gun as evidence. Objection! Now I have the gun. But here, you can only hold one round.
By the way, the pistol's firing chamber is empty. And it shows traces of having been fired recently.
So, were any fingerprints found on the gun? Unfortunately, no. Of course, the defendant is known for wearing gloves. We might say that a lack of fingerprint is in fact a fingerprint of its own.
Aha! Intriguing point, well made.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Not well made. Not intriguing.
In any case, the court accepts this evidence.
Stage pistol. As that to a court record.
My grandchild would get a kick out of seeing this. But now it's time to return to our testimony.
So what if he shot the clown? He still shot the victim, pal.
Alright, here's my gun. Thank you.
Objection!
The trickiest cases often seems the simplest. Prosecutor Gavin, you missed a bullet hole in the clown's forehead. If you hadn't missed that, you have come to a real, very different conclusion. Understand?
Yeah? But like I just said, pal, after he shot the clown in the forehead, he went and...
Objection!
Did nothing of the sort to the victim. The pistol proves he could not.
The murder weapon? How?
It's quite simple, Your Honor. This pistol only holds one bullet at a time.
Ah!
If he had shot the clown in the forehead, he could have shot the victim too.
Yeah!
Objection!
That's not a contradiction, not even close. All he had to do was reload the pistol after the first shot.
Objection!
Oh, where did he get the extra bullet? They're not so easy to come by, you know. If you claim the defendant had one ready, then prove it to us right how he got it.
Arr!
I had a feeling this wasn't over yet. No, this party's just getting started. Yeah. Whoa! How come I'm in private chat? Something strange. It says it's my private room, but doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I'll try not to get distracted by my own thing. What's this? Apparently 2 hours ago, somebody gave me a sub for someone else. I have to thank him later, but whew, interesting. So what else did change? Nothing. Alright. I'm gonna... There's some emails I don't need to read. Alright. The spot is getting started! And I haven't proven anything yet beyond my good looks and startling record sales. An utter lack of humility.
What's this? It seems that the prosecution has another witness prepared.
Like I said, Herr Detective was just a warm-up act.
Arr!
Now that the audience have gotten a taste of what's to come, they're ready. Ready for what? For my decisive witness, of course. A witness who will find can prove one thing for us. That it was Zach Gramery who shot the victim in the forehead.
Very well. We will pause for a 15-minute recess.
This might be my lucky break. I'll need that 15 minutes to talk to my client, Zach.
Court is adjourned.
To be continued. Already? Nah, it's a pose. It's an opportunity to save. We'll do that. No problem. But it's not far from over. It's not even been 4 hours yet. April 19, 11:21 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2.
Very impressive, Mr. Wright. I have to say, I expected nothing less.
We've only just begun. I am hoping you could tell me a little bit more about what happened actually.
I did not think you would believe me if I told you. Better that you discover the truth for yourself. I was thinking of you, you know.
I think we need less thinking and more talking. That night in the hospital, what really happened?
Ah, the way your eyes gleam, Mr. Wright. You'll scare Trucy.
Speaking of which, where is she?
You have seen the problem yourself. The letter.
The one shot in the forehead one, right?
Yeah, and the reason he speaks of. I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death.
Why not?
This is something I will not say, for now at least.
What's this for now business?
I have done many things in my life, some well, some poorly. But this is a cross we must bear alone to our graves.
Rosie Boss, flashback case. Yes, this is a flashback case. This is how Felix Wright lost his job, and we're about to find out the details. Right now I figured out with a piece of paper I found on the floor that there are 2 pages signed with magnified grammary. One of them is fake. I don't know which one yet. We?
You wanted to know about the night of the incident.
Finally, the guy sure likes to take his time getting to the important stuff.
Of course, I have no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night to the appointed time. And found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols.
2?
Yes, the one I had used on stage. And the one that has been used by my partner, Valiant.
Oh! For the Zack and Valiant quick draw thing, right?
My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sound of his breathing. Then I took the pistol into my hand. I cannot deny that my resolve faltered then for a moment.
You faltered? You mean you thought about shooting him?
Recall there was a reason I could not refuse his request. His last such request, though not his first.
So, there were other requests you couldn't refuse before?
To be honest, I've not always been steadfast, and I fear I've brought pain upon Trucy.
Was Magnified coercing his disciple somehow? Just what was going on in True Grammary?
Yet, in the end,
Hey, the man got gifted a sub to Shaster by Panda. I believe, yeah. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Did Valiant shoot Magnify? Probably. We don't know. We don't know. It was, yeah, I got a gifted sub by Panda. And I got another gifted sub for another, another one that's, that I've been following. Maybe like it was like a random drop. That happened 2 hours ago. So that was interesting.
okay, in the end I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket.
In your pocket?
I believe if you examine the bullet in the clown's head, you will find it to be different than the one in my mentor. What were those called? Rifling marks?
Rifling marks, yeah.
Yeah, well, that. That is all I have to tell you concerning the case.
Concerning the case? You mean there's something else you can tell me?
You are a fascinating man, Mr. Wright.
Thanks.
Yes, there's something. My mentor, his eyes opened.
What? Magnified Grammary?
The old devil. He was not asleep, you see. Of course, the gunshot would have woke him in anyway.
And there he was at our last discussion as mentor and pupil. Alright, now he woke up, and now he has an N next to his, Oh! Get this, folks. His IV is plugged on his left arm. He's awake. He has his journal, his diary next to him. The page hasn't been yet torn. And yeah, there's a... Then there we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. Now I see the clown on his bedside with a hole on his head. Yeah, Zach talked to his mentor after he shot the clown. It was not a long discussion, maybe 5-10 minutes or so. What did you talk about? Ha 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 ha, Mr. Wright. Did I not just tell you? It does not concern this case. Zach Grammary seems pretty steadfast to me, or maybe just stubborn. Mr. Wright! Your presence is requested in the courtroom! Bailiff, once again, I am in your hands. Right, let's get back in there. April 19, 11:37, District Court, courtroom number 7.
Court is now back in session.
During our recess, a bullet was found in and dug up from the clown's head.
Well, this is news. And the rifling marks?
There wasn't a time to do a detailed analysis, though they did find the weapon type matches the murder weapon.
Well, that's not very conclusive, is it?
Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. He was in Christopher Napoleon's in the first case. Yeah. You're a decisive witness? How many times I have heard those words? Though they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Oh, don't worry on my account. I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he's intimately acquainted with the player in our little production. Being the other half of Truth Grammary's famous duo, Zach and Valiant. Valiant Grammary. So we get to meet the great Magnifier's other disciple. Yeah, now it's Valiant. He doesn't have a mustache and he's very young. Perhaps he'll start by asking your name and occupation. Valiant Grammary, magician.
You're the decisive witness, are you? You can prove your fellow student, your partner's guilt?
Fate, the grand illusion, filled with traps and tricks. Wait, the shooting took place at the hospital after 11 o'clock at night. If you're a witness, does that mean you were there that late? If one were to deduce this logically, the conclusion is yes! Okay. I always get the characters, don't I? I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this.
That looks very familiar.
Wait. That's the same letter Zach Grammary received. Yes, or perhaps I should say, ta-da!
Order, order, order! And what does it say? Surely not the same thing.
Perhaps you should see for yourself. To my beloved student Valiant, to you I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtain. Come on the 13th at 11:20 p.m. I will ready a gun with which you will shoot one shot square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Signed, Magnify Grammary. Okay. This is the same handwriting as the other one. The one Zach received. So far so good. So I guess the piece of paper I found was the forge. Let me read it again.
Why, it's practically the same!
The notebook page. It seems fake thought is a meal of honor that is less than 10 swift. Only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported my life's work, I give thanks, farewell. Yeah, it's like the forged letter. Look. Oh, wait. They are torn. No. Now that I see them next to each other. No, I lied. No. I lied. The piece of paper on the floor has thorns on the side of the paper. This was torn from a diary. So we know it was violent to carry out the crime now. Probably not. But get this. The handwriting actually, the handwriting that the note that Valiant received fits the one that was on the floor. I'm gonna check again with the one that Zach received. There's something about it, like they look. There's something about it that seems off. There's something about the other piece of paper that seems off. I don't know what. The decal is the same. I noticed that the Grammarly decal doesn't appear on the diary, but then again, maybe it's not supposed to be. Alright, probably I jumped the gun too quick. The more I look at them, alright. I'm gonna let it roll.
It's practically the same. The court accepts this into evidence.
Magnifies letter number 2 added to the court record.
This is most unusual. Exactly what is going on with you folks? What exactly was your true Gammery up to?
By which you mean?
I'm just having trouble envisioning a man who would ask his students to kill him. Both of them, no less.
It's just my opinion, Herr Judge. But from these letters, I'd say was coercing them, not asking them.
We walk the magician path together, and in so doing share most of our lives. When people are so close, there is strain, a warping of relation, you might say. Yet, this has nothing to do with the case at hand.
By which you mean you're not going to tell us. Which makes me wonder even more about this reason they couldn't refuse. The Grammatic decals didn't go the Grammatic was not an official letter or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, let's get on with the testimony for starters. The defendant, Zach Grammarly, stand accused. Tell us why.
Oh! I'll do more than that. For where he walks, the red roses rise, singing hymns to the miracles. That is magic! Fascinating, though I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could just as clearly point to you as the suspect. The letter, the murder weapon, and now the 2 bullets found at the scene.
In fact, the only difference seems to be the designated time.
As every magician knows, timing is everything. Yes, and now is this time to get this party fired up. What platform was this made for? This was originally released on the DS. The old DS. This game was released in 2007. And I'm playing this on the Desmu emulator. The night of the crime. That night, I visited the hospital room at the time Magnify requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor was taking his final blow. This final bow. I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instruction. Yet a deal with the dead is still a deal. That sweet kiss. I gave you the clown. Then I informed the doctor and the police. Now there's no remake for PC. When they made the remaster, it was only the trilogy of Phoenix Wright, not the games that came after that. Like Apollo Justice looked like a spin-off, but it's actually a sequel. And then they make Dual Destinies on the 3DS, and then the Spirit Justice on the 3DS. And right now, where Capcom is standing, they want to concentrate more on the Great Ace Attorney timeline, which happens during the Meiji area because it's more Japanese, more traditional than the classic Ace Attorney saga. And of course, Ace Attorney Investigation. Yeah, but the second, the sequel was never translated. It was translated by a fan, and I tried it a little bit. I had it working. So after Apollo Justice, you will be able to see Ace Investigation Miles Edgeworth Part 2, the prosecutor's path. And this happens a few days right after the end of the first game. Like, all the cases in Ace Attorney Investigation happens inside 2 weeks, which is crazy. Yes, you love Miles Edgeworth. This game came. The Ace Attorney, no, the Ace Investigation with Miles Edgeworth is happening like a month after the third Phoenix Wright. This is happening 7 years after Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulation. This is happening like 7 years ago. So technically what you're seeing right now is the direct sequel. This is the exactly what immediately happens after Trials and Tribulation. And after that, 1 month later, there was the Adventures with Miles Edgeworth. And then after that, there's the Apollo Justice thing. And then after that, Dual Destinies and such and such and such. This case was probably Phoenix's next case after the... Yes. That was probably it. Or maybe there were some other cases, but he didn't do it because he has his Nagatama on. Or maybe he gave it back to Maya because I don't have the Nagatama with me. It's not part of the... It's not part of the mechanic. Alright.
So, you were the ones who reported the crime.
Indeed, I would think. This fact alone would clear my name of suspicion. Let's not jump to any conclusion.
Yes, the cross-examination generally comes before the conclusion in this court. But, if your testimony proves to be true, then the defendant, Zach Gramarye, is guilty!
So they are in the same timeline, same universe. Yeah. Absolutely. The Nagatama is the little thing that yes, that didn't appear in the anime. So it's a little gimmick. Like the Nagatama is something that comes from the Korean temple. Maya has one, Mia had one, Pearl had one, Phoenix had one, but this one is a little bit special because it's for non-initiates. Because usually practitioners of the Korean can create Cyclops. And some peoples are, when they're hiding something, create Cyclops on their own, but without them knowing. Only they can remove them. That's the mechanic of the Cyclops. So, what happened is that Phoenix, with his Nagatama, can see the Cyclops. He can see when somebody has something to hide. Like, did you kill the murderer? Do you have something like... he would have, if Phoenix had the Nagatama on, he would have seen some Cyclops on Zack, because he has something to hide. And then he would gonna inquire, and then he's gonna have to find some evidence to see that, okay, you have something to hide, I can second guess what it is. Is it something to do with this? I have proof that, well, that you're hiding something regarding these things. And like, this was a mechanics when he was interrogating suspects or person of interest who has something to hide. They would have they would when they're exposed to Phoenix figure out the truth, they would remove some Cyclops would break on their own, like bam 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 bam. This happens in the first trilogy. Like, I'm excited about seeing the next Miles Edgeworth game. Yeah. Yes. I believe there's 5 chapters. We're on chapter 4. This is the flashback. Probably there's gonna be a chapter 5 and maybe 5.5, like an epilogue case. And then after that, we're gonna jump in on Miles Edgeworth Part 2. Alright. So, if it wasn't Zach Gramarye, then the killer was you, Valiant. And no disappearing hat will get you out of that. The next game, you mean Dual Destinies? Do they have a Nagatama in Dual Destinies? I think it's mostly the gimmick in Dual Destinies is something to do with Phoenix' new assistant who minored. She's an attorney who minored in psychology, and she can it's like she has a little gizmo that tells the emotion of someone who testifies, and if she see like an emotion that contradicts the testimony, like, why are you happy saying that? Like, you're thinking about something else, stuff like that. Athena Sykes, yes, Athena. Because Dual Destiny, like, you can play as Apollo, you can play as Phoenix, but it's mainly Athena's game. The night of the crime. That night, I visited the hospital room as the time magnifier requested. Which, according to the letter, was 11:20 p.m. Indeed! In magic, timing is everything. Right. Consider the illusion of teleportation. If I were to appear on stage before my stun double has left, how would that look? Why, it will reveal the very secrets of my magic! Now that you have revealed the very secrets of your magic for all of us, let's move on. You went to the designated time, and what did you see? The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor was taking his final bow. So, you weren't worried for your own safety at all? I mean, you smelled gunpowder, yes? What if the shooter was still nearby? I did not consider this, to be honest. It is forbidden for a magician to have a good imagination. Really? Isn't magic all about illusion and imagination? How about this? You were the shooter, which is why you weren't afraid. Now you are the one imagining. It is forbidden for a lawyer to have such a good imagination.
The witness will refrain from pausing so suspiciously before responding. My forbidden imagination is starting to imagine things.
I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instruction. What do you mean, fellow student? Which brings us back to this reason neither of you could refuse. So it does! And my partner, he did not refuse! But Magnifier wrote the same thing to you. Why could you refuse if Zack couldn't? Because I have a will of steel, of course! I also do this trick where I bend steel bars, so perhaps steel isn't all so strong. So which is it? Mind if I continue? Yet a deal with the dead is still a deal. That sweet kiss, I gave that to the clown.
Hold it!
There were 2 bullet holes at the scene. One in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one you shot the clown was you? No doubt my partner Zach had said much the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shot the clown committed the murder. I'd better dig around here a bit more and see what I turn up. Mr. Valiant, let me ask about something else concerning the crime scene, namely the bullet in the pistol, the location of the pistol, or the number of pistol. Let's talk about everything. Let's talk about the bullet in the pistol. In order to shoot a pistol, you need a bullet. Where was the bullet? I entered the room and took the pistol in my hand. The bullet was already loaded, ready to fire at any time. A magician is always prepared, you see. Prepare for... One never knows when a miracle will be called for. A magician always has 7 doves in his pockets and a white rabbit up each sleeve. Clearly, we're dealing with professionals here.
Is this bullet that was loaded in the pistol really so important?
No. The number of pistol, yeah. Actually, let me ask about something else.
Very well. The witness may continue with the testimony.
What can I do with obey? Inform the doctor and the police. No, not yet. You said the deal. That's sweet. I gave it to the clown. Alright.
Hold it!
The number of pistols. How many pistols were there when you entered the room? By which you mean what, precisely? 2 pistols were used in the Zack and Valiant quick draw shoot 'em, correct? 1 for each of you. You are well informed, yet only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night. So, this makes sense with what Zack said. What did Zack tell me back in the lobby? Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time and found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket.
I see no problem with that statement. Only 1 pistol is visible in the photograph of the crime scene after all.
So you picked up that pistol and fired it? Indeed I did! Alakazam! Alakazing! Alakaboom!
Is the number of pistol really so important?
Yes, if he tell us what he did after that. The number of pistol is quite important, Your Honor.
Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony.
The bullet and magnify lined up with the pistol that was there, which definitely means it was Valiant. What can I do right away? Alright, only 1 pistol was in the hospital that night. With it, I shot the clown. This is where he lied. We're gonna press just to make sure. So you took the only pistol there and fired it. That's correct. And that pistol was this one, which was left at the crime scene. Good show! I see you too are a magician of sorts. And you're an idiot of sorts. Do you have any idea what you just said? I see the fire in your eyes as you glare as a witness. So how about heating up this trial a bit? These slow ballads bore me. I've got a hunch, but maybe that's all it is. Maybe I should ask about something else. No need. The bullet in the pistol, the location of the pistol, no. No need. On second thought, let's run with this testimony for a while longer. Alright. Then I informed the police. Present. Alright, 1 bullet, rifling match. No fingerprints found. Yeah. Yeah, you go. According to the defendant, Zach Gramery, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on that table.
2?
One of those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead. Then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant had some brains in his head. Well, what about Mr. Valiant has told us? You see, there's something about this testimony that doesn't make sense.
What might that be? I told you I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown.
That's your story at least. Question mark. He looks upset. But the rifling marks tells a very different story, Mr. Valiant. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin told us. We compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with a bullet fire from this gun. The rifling marks on the bullet were a perfect match. Ah! Mr. Valiant, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead!
Order, order, order! Well, this is all rather sudden.
What have I done?
Prosecutor Gavin?
I owe the court an apology. Sorry. Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks only proves the type of a gun that fired them. But that's not what you told us before. You said you verified the murder weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now, quite sincerely, I might add. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my youth? That was just this morning. I am still young, and I might add, it wasn't really my fault. If the defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime, we would not be having this pleasant discussion now. Exclamation mark?
Valiant Gramery? Yes, Your Honor. You were presented to this court as a decisive witness, but you've proven to be more divisive than decisive.
Objection!
You'll see in time. Exclamation mark. The testimony so far has merely been a review of the facts. The proof comes next.
Care to elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin?
When Mr. Valiant enters the hospital room, the victim has already been shot. As his next testimony will prove, Wright, the real fight is about to begin. Bring it.
Very well. The witness will now testify to the court. Help us determine who shot what.
Who shot what? Witness testimony. I arrive at the hospital room at the appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation, then called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. He was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. And the one in the room at that time was my partner, not me.
Those times are rather close, you have to admit. You're talking about an alibi established over a matter of minutes. To use a 10-minute discrepancy as the basis of your alibi.
It's very easy to explain in this situation, Herr Judge. For example, take our debut hit single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love. Cue to the song, press the play button, and it will play for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Do it 100 times, the result is the same. Their debut singles was only 2 minutes and 50 seconds long. What a ripoff! Magic is a world of utmost precision. Hocus pocus requires admirable focus. And in the time of death determined by the doctor, there is an incontrovertible truth.
Very well. The prosecution warns us that we're dealing with rather precise times, and we can expect the cross-examination to require the same level of precision.
I would hope the defense refrains from his customarily broad, sweeping accusation, lest we blur the focus this case so clearly demands.
Point taken. Baseless remark will resort to the penalty. Carry on, Mr. Wright.
Carry on. Right. Who shot what? I'm gonna save just to be sure, because if it's one of those cases that if I present for no reason, I'm gonna be penalized. I arrive in the hospital room at an appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m. 11:20 p.m. Can you prove that that's when you arrived? Alas, such a feat may be beyond even a great valiant, for there was no one in that room but Magnify, and he was deported after a fashion. I have here defendant Zach Gramery Swan's deposition. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. It was 10 minutes before I left the room, and the victim was still alive.
The time indicated by this letter to Zach was 11:05 p.m.
Exactly. Which means that the witness could not have entered that room before 11:15. Because his partner was still in the middle of his crime.
I see someone did their arithmetic homework.
You see, the defendant himself has corroborated the witness' testimony. Does that all make sense? That's not a problem. I don't see any problem with that testimony.
If you say so. Let's continue, shall we?
Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. After discovering the body, I fulfill my obligation in calling the doctor. You walked in on the murder, and the first thing you do is shoot the clown. The disciples does what the disciple must. My mentor's request without reason has caused for me a surfeit of sorrow. For what would I, valiant, be now without him? May the soul of Magnify the Great find greater peace above. This I muttered to myself as I pulled that lonely trigger. In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those right moments, Herr Attorney.
May I remind you that baseless remarks will earn penalties. Proceed with that in mind.
Yes, Your Honor. What a pain it is turning out to be. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. Did the doctor say anything concerning the cause of death? Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of a drink. I'm starting to lose my throat. Alright. Did the doctor say anything concerning the cause of death?
Why, yes! I believe he screamed. My God, he's been shot in the head! It doesn't take a doctor to notice that. I believe I would have said much the same thing.
And I would have penned the requiem that arose in my soul at that horrid sight. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned investigation? Actually, I know some pretty cool songs that are that Lang Upper Doom by Marty Friedman in particular. Yeah, but usually when you release a single, like at that time, like you pay for a song is like, what? I paid for a song this short.
I want my money back!
Something like that. Anyway, it's funny. Wait. I thought I changed the name of my stream. Oh wait, I did, but it doesn't appear. Okay, I got it. Okay. For some reason it didn't. Okay, that's weird. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned investigation? In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those right moments, Herr Attorney.
Buster's remark, blah blah blah.
Proceed that in mind. Yes, Your Honor. What a pain. He was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. Let me check the autopsy. It says between 11 and 11:30. So, yeah.
Hold it!
I don't think I'm stepping out of a limb to say I have some doubt about this. How could a doctor be so precise with the time?
We do usually only get an estimated time of death, true. I'm not sure I've heard of a verified time of death.
Magic reveals in making the complex appear simple, but really is the opposite. What appears complex in this case is a simple matter of subtraction.
I see another person has done his arithmetic homework.
The point here is the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph of the scene. Recall what we heard earlier about the victim, Magnify Gramarie's schedule. Every night at 11, Magnify took an IV drip for 30 minutes.
I can see the IV bag right there, yes.
Now look a little closer. Follow the tube down from the bag to the end.
Ah! The needle's been removed!
Doubtlessly, it fell out when he was shot.
That which seems to be the case.
When the needle comes out, the IV no longer drips. Ah, you could just measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid function, for our purposes, as an hourglass of sorts. Usually you want 3 minutes or so for a song if it's a single. Yeah, on the contrary, that's very radio friendly. It would really make more people want to buy the song because you know short attraction span as well. Yeah. Actually that sounds cool, yeah. Well, it's true that the radio, as a rule, the shorter the song, the better. For one single, 2:15 should be good because they could put another ad to pad that makes more money for the radio station and they can play it more often. I understand, but this practice, were they doing that in 2007? Was because I believe that the trend of making shorter song appeared in the 2010s or so. It's radio friendly but not consumer friendly. Yeah, anyway. Basically what Phoenix Wright says, it's a ripoff. Anyway, it's only a silly commentary that has nothing to do with the case, actually. So, yeah. This is how the doctor determined the time of death. From the amount remaining of the bag, it was determined that the IV has stopped 10 minutes after administration began. IV report added to the court record.
And so it was when I, Valiant, entered that room. 10 minutes had passed since that horrible crime was committed. And this is proof.
Wait, no. Objection, Valiant. You said you came in. Okay. Did that seem important? Yes, it was. Very important. Well, seeing how it is the biggest clue we have to the time of death, I'd say it's very important.
Agreed. It would be hard to imagine a more precise way to determine the time. Behold the power of arithmetics! Very well. The witness will add this detail to his testimony.
Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. The water of life springs not eternal. The remaining IV liquid proves my innocence. Wait, he was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation. I'm gonna press this statement too, still, when he was doing the math with the poker chips. Yeah. You bet this whole thing started back in the mid-70s and early 80s in the radio industry. But back then in the 70s and 80s, a short song was between 3 and 4 minutes.
Hold it!
Did you notice the IV yourself by any chance? When I first entered the deck room, the stench of gunpowder assailed me. Next, the mark of death upon my mentor's forehead, and then his left arm did I spy arose, drooping and wilted. It torn the discarded IV needle, knocked from the vein by the force of the shock. Lucky for you. If that IV has not been there, why you might be a suspect. Indubitably so. I might say it's thanks to my lucky color. Your lucky color? Indeed, even today I wear it proudly upon my suspect self. Yellow! For it always, without fail, brings me luck. Why, when Zack and Valiant won their first Magician Grand Prix? Yes, the very one held by the Association of International Magicians. I was adorned in this attire then too, and our trophy a bust. Ah, what a day that was. This is one trip down memory lane no one needs. My lucky color, yes, and that IV too. I said I think 'twas you, and especially for me, Valiant. Wait, no!
That does seem to be the case indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, any thought on this testimony?
Valiant sure looks happy with himself. Okay, how about this lucky color testimony? There's a contradiction. It certainly sounds like your lucky color has brought you plenty of luck, but not this time. Mr. Valiant, your lucky color has betrayed you.
I'm afraid you've lost me.
Your Honor, the witness testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence.
What? Please recall my warning at the beginning of this cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Baseless accusation will be duly penalized. I do hope this latest accusation is well based.
Don't worry, I've got all your bases right here.
Very well, let's hear the defense claim. Where is your evidence that contradicts what Mr. Valiant has told us?
In the photo, crime photo.
Take that!
The crime scene tells all, Your Honor.
The photo of the crime scene?
All this talk of color has me yearning for black and white. Clear-cut simplicity. Tell us, Wright, just where is the contradiction in this photo? My pleasure, and I assure you it's quite simple. But I can't promise anything in black and white.
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What?
Oh, I see. I see. Valiant, you may have deduced that the IV was yellow because the bag was blue and the liquid appears green.
Take that!
But how did you know the color of the IV unless you removed it yourself? Because it doesn't appear that it's dripping onto the photo. The needle is dry. The needle was removed and dry, as if it was never even put on. Valiant Grammary, let's get one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes?
Kind of takes the mystery out of it, but yes! Something wrong with yellow, Mr. Wright?
Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Take another look at the photo of the crime scene.
What's this?
Confusion. Now, tell us, what do your elderly eyes spy?
Even my elderly eyes can see a problem here, Mr. Valiant. Look at that IV bag.
Ah! What is this? What foul magic? It would be hard to call the IV liquid yellow. and I'm afraid no magic was involved in the making of this photograph. Ah! Alakas, no! Oh, now his bunny are coming out of his sleeves and the pigeons are flying out of his pockets. Alakas, no!
Order! 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 What does this mean?
Objection!
This is some kind of mistake.
Yes, Prosecutor Gavin, your witness mistakes.
Ah. The greener they are, the harder they fall. I suppose there's no substitute for experience. Valiant Grammary, as you remind us several times, your lucky color is yellow, but the ivy is clearly not. Well, this contradiction can mean only one thing.
Objection!
And to think, you almost had me. Question mark. I see your true color now, Ace Attorney, air quote, Phoenix Wright.
Something you'd like to tell us, Prosecutor Gavin? As far as this court can tell, the witness testimony does contradict the evidence.
Yes, a contradiction, right. One that I shall be pleased to hand right back to Mr. Wright. How do you mean? How? Because the witness has made no mistakes. I agree that at a glance the ivy liquid does appear a sort of greenish yellow, but I assure you the liquid itself is quite yellow.
Yellow liquid? How can you say that? As far as I can tell from this photo, it's green.
Yes, but what color is the ivy bag itself? The bag? You mean the plastic bag on the hook?
It looks like I want to say light blue.
Precisely. Figured it out yet? Put a yellow liquid in a blue bag and you get green. This, incidentally, is the liquid's true color. Now it shows a bag with a pale, translucent bag with yellow liquid in it.
I see. Your explanation does have the ring of truth to it.
Rubble.
Objection!
As I thought. There's no substitute for experience, Prosecutor Gavin. What? You may tell a good tale, but you've just proven something rather grave for you, that is. Grave? The liquid in the ivy is yellow, yes? But how did this witness know that? Exclamation mark. It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you? Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation from the witness. At the scene of a crime, the ivy liquid appears to be green. So let me ask, how did the witness know the ivy liquid was actually yellow? Oh, look, oh my God! You can hear the birds flap.
Order! 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 Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once. The witness clearly knew the color of the ivy liquid, so I'm sure it means something, but what?
I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor. The witness, Valiant Grammary, has testified that the ivy liquid was yellow because it looked yellow, he's seen it before, or he knew the ivy liquid's color. He would seen it before? Like, two of these sentences look the same. Probably because it looked yellow, because somebody switched the bags. I don't know. He'd seen it before. From the fact before us, the answer is clear. The witness knew that the ivy liquid was yellow. Why? Because he'd seen it before, but not inside the blue bag we see in the photo. He saw the liquid by itself in a clear colorless bag.
I suppose he would have had two, but I'm still not clear as to what all this means.
Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at a hospital? That's where you'll find your meaning, Your Honor.
Objection!
I'm afraid I find nothing. So what if he knew the IV liquid's color? Leave the getting excited over absolutely nothing to our teeny bopper fans, yeah? The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. A 30-minute hourglass with 20 minutes worth of sand remaining. Your claim, Prosecutor Gavin.
I remember it well.
However, there's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag.
Wait, I know! An hourglass uses sand, but an IV bag uses liquid. I'm right, right?
Yeah. As much as it pains me to say this, Your Honor, no. Unlike the sand through an hourglass, IV liquid enters the patient's body. At which point, like magic, it disappears. However, what if the amount of IV liquid has increased? You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in.
Objection!
Let me get this straight, Wright. You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag? No, not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow. No, wait. I said what? How might an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task?
Objection!
I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water into a cup.
Objection!
I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag. Quite. Can you prove our witness is capable of such a feat?
Here's a point, amateurs. I at least would have some difficulty pouring IV liquid into that bag.
You don't need to be an expert to see the look on the witness' face. He added liquid to the IV to throw off the time of death. I tire of these fairy tales lacking evidence.
Well, Mr. Wright, any solid evidence to bring us back down to earth?
Valiant gramarye. I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in a life of crime.
Might I ask what you're strongly suggesting?
Magic relies on props, and props becomes evidence. Our witness was certainly able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work a little magic, and the prop was the syringe. I'm gonna check the IV report. IV stopped 10 minutes after administration began. 30 minutes required to administer full IV. From the amount remaining, IV stopped 10 minutes after administration began. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Okay. Has been washed and showed no signs of use. I'm gonna see the syringe.
The victim's syringe?
It's the perfect prop for the magically increasing IV trick, and easy enough for an amateur to use.
Objection!
Well, what kind of evidence is that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it.
Objection!
And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had the syringe to administer his insulin shot. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. Well, valiant gramarye, as you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes the perfect clock. One that you could manipulate at will.
Like a Zorg!
Rubber.
Order! I do believe, well, with this being his first, that the burden of this trial has been a bit too much to bear for Prosecutor Gavin.
Clavier, ...
I'm afraid that while there is a doubt as the amount of IV liquid in that bag, the time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today.
Well, maybe I can squeeze an extra day out of this. I can do a little much needed investigation work.
I see there are no
Objection!
Somebody said objection. Truly, there's no substitute for experience. Nothing blinds one of the truth so effectively. Exclamation mark. A word to the wise. Underestimate the young and they'll sweep your feet out from under you. In a way you never ever expected. You see, I know exactly what you're thinking. What's he talking about? You say the witness used the syringe to manipulate the level of the IV liquid? But there is no proof. There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. Huh? Is there meaning in it? Now, nor was this witness quite as decisive as I'd hoped. This I'd meet after all, why linger in the past when the future holds so much?
You have something in mind, Prosecutor Gavin?
Proof, Herr Judge. I have another way to prove my case. With evidence, no less. Oh, he's bringing the diary.
What's this?
This is the victim, Magnify Grammary's diary. After going into the hospital, Magnify began writing his memoir, it seems. The story of his birth, his startling debut, and of meeting his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end quite appropriately with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his disciple couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does not. What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journal that night, even after the IV had begun at 11 p.m. Let's read it, shall we? Tonight's IV is in, maybe the last. I'll leave the rest to them. The first should come soon. The journal may end here or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his end.
This does appear to have been written just before his death. The court accepts this into evidence.
Magnify diary added to the court record. Read the very last part with particular care. This journal may end here or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. Of course, by his, he refers to our defendant, Zach Grammery.
That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor after all.
But look at what he said before that. All that is left to mine is to lay down. This journal may end here or it may go on. It may go on. Yes, there was a missing page, but we found it. But apparently this missing page is probably counterfeit because we found it on the floor. It's not admissible evidence. But probably it's the book that was forged. Probably like either our page is the counterfeit or else the whole book is. Magnify Grammery intended to write again. That is, if Zach Grammery didn't pull the trigger. Phoenix ... I see the defense understand the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on, it ends. Because Magnify's life was brought to an end by the defendant, Zach Grammery.
Order, order, order! Prosecutor Gavin, are you certain that Magnify Grammery wrote this?
There is no mistaking in his handwriting.
Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magnify did intend to continue his diary, yet if his diary ended here, which plainly it did,
Then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zach Grammery. Well, how do you like me now, Herr Wright? Still too green for your taste? Hmm? ... He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find it hard to believe. that he overlooked such an obvious problem with his precious evidence.
Well, Mr. Wright, the witness testimony we heard was lacking, but put together with this evidence, it seems quite sufficient for a case.
The diary is accepted like this. The trial's over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. Show evidence or no need? Oh, this is it. I wonder if that was why the IV was in his left arm and said it is right. Wait. Memoir starts written it up just before he died. Can examine it. We cannot open this. Yes. There is the mark of grammary in the back. There's a sticker on it. Doesn't say much. Diary. I want to open this. Open. Examine. This is the last page. The diary ends here. Huh? What's this? It looks like a page was ripped out. Well, now, isn't that interesting? Oh yeah, they want us. Okay, we're gonna fall into the trap. I'm gonna show evidence. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence.
What? You have some evidence that overturns this diary?
It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment. The IV is on his left arm. Like, I cannot read the diary again to say what he said about his right, but anyway, the IV is on his left arm.
Please show your evidence, Mr. Wright.
Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary, I've just shown the court. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something a little more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim continued writing his diary. Alright? I would be happy to. The decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is the notebook page. First, take a close look at this diary. Okay, tonight's IV is in, maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. The first should come soon. This journal may end here or it may go on, but not long. It depends on his end. Note that a page has already been ripped out. Now I'm gonna read the last page. It seems Fate's clock will make it a little longer, at least only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell. He says less than 10 minutes.
What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all.
That's why we're still in here talking about this. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page.
I don't believe it.
What do you mean why it wouldn't be? It's in his left arm. Because the IV is on the left side of the bed. The left arm is closest, so they put it on this left arm. Usually they always put IV on the left. I don't know why, but yeah, in this case it's the left arm. Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot magnified grammary. That's the defense position.
Wait, let me see that. What did Sam Hill?
It all depends on the vein response and with that person prefer on the right side. Well, since I'm left-handed, I will prefer on the right side too. If we have to use our dominant arm, you see. But since most people have a right hand dominant, they would put it on the non-dominant arm. That's what they use in hospitals. Yeah.
What is Sam Hill? Why, this is the continuation of the victim's diary.
Dot dot dot. Yeah, Valiant is sweating. Note the torn edge of the page. It's a perfect match with the torn remains of the last page in Magnify's diary.
Quite remarkable.
Would you care to explain what all this means, Herr Attorney? The diary continued after his first visitor came, which means that the victim was still alive after Zaf Grammary left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor. Valiant Grammary!
No!
No!
The handwriting too matches that of the other pages. This is without a doubt the genuine article. Order, order, order!
But wait! That's impossible! That old man couldn't have written that!
Objection!
Finally! You just couldn't resist, could you, Herr Wright? Is this what? Presenting solid evidence? Herr Judge?
Yes, Prosecutor Gavin?
Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness.
But, Prosecutor Gavin, this evidence overturns the correct witnesses.
I ask only to put it on hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honor.
Well, if you put it that way, Mr. Wright, what's your take on this?
Well, Your Honor, judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyways. So it might be as well be sooner.
Then, though this is highly irregular, we will put the current cross-examination on hold. The witness may step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring the surprise witness to the courtroom.
I had a bad feeling just then. That ripped out page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it was a bad sign all around. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Gavin's secret witnesses. Get this.
Holding trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin.
I beg the court's understanding. Yes, still going, Miss T. We need to end it soon, but I wanted to finish this part of the story because this is the key moment. This is where everything is going to hell with Phoenix Wright. He just presented something he found on the floor as evidence, and the piece of paper matches the book. Now, Gavin just presented Drew Grisham to the bar. He's here. He has a lot of paint stain on his face. He has his turtleneck. He has a shirt on top. He has a gray hair all combed onto one side. So, but I have to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal? The detail of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say. I thought it best to contain the information to this room. So, the public is... Now, this is behind... this is a sidebar court right now. The public has been ousted. Nobody's here except Phoenix, Gavin, the witness, and the judge.
Very well. And you are witness, I gather?
Yes. Yes, sir.
State your name and occupation for the record.
My name is Drew Mishram. I'm a painter.
A painter? And you are somehow related to this case?
No, well, not per se.
I have one simple question for this witness. ... Phoenix. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is?
Oh, yeah, I know it well.
How's that possible? Have you seen this diary page somewhere before?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I made it.
You... what? You made it?
Oh, yeah, you might call it one of my works, air quotes.
The regional prosecutor's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach Gramery.
Illegal evidence?
I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large, Drew Misham has another side, you might say. He is skilled in making perfect reproduction of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Forgeries?
Well, so we are to understand that this page here is...
A fake! Prepared by a certain defense attorney.
Objection!
Hold it! I didn't prepare this evidence!
Objection!
This is 7 years ago, Jake. He's alive. Drew's alive and was involved 7 years ago. The Drew trials is what back when he was dead 7 years later. The attorney speaks. Something about this page, I presume, but what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented this evidence to us, Phoenix Wright.
Witness! Mr. Misham, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who was your client?
That, I don't know.
What?
Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make the items they want and I receive my payment. That's the extent of my contact with them.
Objection!
But there's no proof this is a fake.
Oh, it's a fake.
Huh?
To avoid this sort of problem, I always put a special mark on my works. I can say without a doubt, this is mine.
Everybody silent?
Mr. Wright? You have just presented illegal evidence to this court? My court?
It was careless of me. That's all I can say.
Oh boy! Here!
This is a flashback, yeah! The girl gave it to us. What's this?
I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was really important.
It was all a trap! A fatal trap! Well, what can he do to defend himself? I got it from a little girl and he got it from someone? I mean, how can you defend yourself? He's done, man. You had to go with the flow. It was a fatal trap.
Mr. Wright?
Yes,
Do you have an explanation for yourself?
if I did, would the court hear it?
Probably not. Forging evidence is a serious crime, and presenting it in court a serious mistake. A fatal mistake for an attorney.
Fatal too, perhaps, for your client, I fear. Exclamation mark. Tell me, what kind of defendant relies on forged evidence? The answer is quite clear. A guilty one!
Objection!
Your Honor, wait! I understand that presenting forged evidence in court is a serious crime, but you cannot hold my client responsible for action I undertook as an individual.
I am sorry, Mr. Wright.
Your Honor, another close call, I dare say. If the prosecutor's office hasn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone the way you wanted to, yeah? Stop. I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself.
I see no need for further discussion on this matter. Special witness dismissed.
Mr. Attorney,
Yes?
could I ask your name?
Huh? Phoenix Wright?
Mr. Wright, I have seen and studied many people, but none like you. I'll remember you, Mr. Wright.
Well, but it was a perfect replica. It was a perfect.
Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, this trial is over.
Zach, ...
You have the right to find a new attorney and make an appeal. However, this court must.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Zack?
there is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. It is impossible!
I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken. I most certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you.
Except, tell me, how do you plan to announcing your verdict? When your defendant does not exist?
Doesn't exist? What are you talking about?
I am talking about this! Poof! He disappeared. Mr. Enigmar! The defendant escaped! Find him quick!
Bailiff, close all exit from the building!
On the double!
He must not be allowed to escape!
That day, in that courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shady Enigmar, aka Zach Gramery, did not just escape from court. He literally, unbelievably vanished. Right before the bailiff's eyes. No one ever saw him again. Not since that day. This is the Gramery miracle! No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. That's how it happened. The trial of magician Zach Gramery vanished along with him for all eternity. The mysteries that remained behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later. To be continued! Yeah? Do you like to save? Yes, we'll save, and this is how we're gonna end our stream, folks. Wow. I'll sing it again. Wow.